My other item there was item number 5, implement an environmental protection zone. And this was something that was, again, specifically suggested through our comp plan. And this could be, take a quarter-mile area away from all of the water bodies around town. And so here within this area, you have additional regulations which might protect the water quality.
Isn't that an interesting concept?
I'm not even sure what the additional regulations are. You know?
Curb and gutter.
That just channelizes water and gets it there.
I think it's more land use than anything.
Paved road.
What you put on the land is the big issue, not what you do with the land, so to speak.
But those are a lot of the things that I think we need to be thinking about. But the rest of that packet that I gave you included what Lakeview had put our portion into a large grant that's pending out there. We're between, it's led by the DNR and NRCS, but there's this multi-million-dollar grant that's goes in as of the first of the month, April 1st. And kind of lays out a plan for what actually would happen over the next years, and then you do talk many years. But over the course of the next year, lays it out, puts some costs to it, asks for a substantial amount of this to be paid in grant money. And the city had to put forth our little portion into this too. So when you look at the one called urban issues, these were the things that we had identified as the way that the city could participate in this also.
Let me ask you, with these grant applications, are we stating that we're going to implement all these things in the grant when we apply for that grant, or are we required to do everything?
These urban issues have been submitted for funding.
Okay.
So we're basically saying, yep, by golly, if we had the funding, we could do these things.
Well, I think
Seems like we have to come up with a lot of that money up front too, that we don't have.
Yeah, it's on like the urban portion of the plan. There's a lot of match money in there, but a lot of it's private match, or say this would be 50% cost share to do a retention pond or something like that. Well, the other 50% is private match. Is a private cost to that landowner. That's why it's not proposed that these are mandated improvements either, quite yet. And that's where we got to come up with, I think, some more, not stringent, but a lot more defined regulation about how we think drainage ought to be, especially around the lake, and know that we put these drainage improvements in place that really does help water quality. That's why one of the things that we put into this grant application there's this one called the Environmental Protection Zone, where if we would explore having regulations for this environmental protection zone, I would certainly argue that we would need some professional help in order to come up with criteria about what drainage and the environmental protection zone ought to be. So that's what this, in essence, asks for, is this asks for some money to offset the cost of a consultant. Because, like you say, Gary, we've deferred that issue of drainage time and time again. And partly because we really don't want to get into it, but the other part is that I think we could really use some professional help in order to work through that tough problem. What you're thinking on this, is this something that the P&Z wants to look at? And if you want to look at it, how aggressive do you want to be on things?
you mean to implement these ideas prior to anything concerning the grant application? application, or are you stating after the fact?
Either way, you know, it's a question to you. I mean, it's just, does it hit a chord with you at all that this is something we need to be working on? At all?
The lakes are a livelihood, let's put it that way.
Sooner or later, all these issues are gonna come up at some point in time. There, you know, there's, obviously, some of them are probably more important right now than anything that helps improve the lake, of course, is a big issue.
Mhm.